Hey guys, so first of all, I have to say, do you guys remember that character on Saved by the Bell? I think her name was Tori. So I feel like right now, and I'm living for it. Today we are doing an updated complexion routine. I haven't done one in a really long time, and I have been filming lots of videos where I do eyes, cheeks, lips, but I never tell you like kind of what's going on in the rest of my face. So I figured from henceforth, yes I said hence, I will probably continue to do videos that way where I don't necessarily include my complexion or go into depth with it, but I can always link this video and you can come back to it later. Plus I feel like it's kind of that time of year where maybe we're taking more pictures, we're going to more events, so I figured what better time than now to show you guys how to get like a really flawless, beautiful, I think it's pretty, I don't know, complexion routine that photographs well and looks really good in person as well, which is really what I think the goal is. Before we get started, make sure you are subscribed if you are not. My name is Whitney and I am always active on Instagram stories. Actually, I guess YouTube has a stories now, which I can't really I can't keep up. I have Instagram stories and Instagram I have to worry about, and then I had YouTube videos and now I have YouTube stories. I don't know what kind of content to post on either one. I'm so confused. Either way, come hang out with me on Instagram until I get the hang of this YouTube stories thing, because like it's just another social media platform situation I have to figure out. Anyway, let's just get started. Okay guys, first things first, you need to keep in mind for this type of foundation and complexion routine, when I do a look like this, it is for photography, special events, when I'm filming, something like holidays, a date, something where I have the time, the energy, all that good stuff, because this is a little extra and it's not meant for your everyday wear. Everyday meaning like what you're gonna wear to the bank or to the grocery store. So what you always wanna do when it comes to having a flawless foundation base, if you guys have never seen any of my videos, I do have a skincare routine video on here. I do suggest checking out because I go really into depth on how important your skincare is and the overall appearance of your makeup. You definitely wanna make sure you are exfoliating frequently. I use a liquid or chemical exfoliant almost every day. Depending on your skin type, this is where you're going to have to kind of take what I say and leave what I say, depending on how much it applies to you. For me, especially right now, I'm a little bit more on the normal side. Typically, I am kind of combo to normal, but since I am pretty much normal, going towards a little bit on the dry side, I like to really hydrate my skin very thoroughly before I apply heavy amounts of makeup and powder, because that will really help your makeup A, glide on very, very beautifully, and B, it's gonna kind of help the powders that are laying on your skin not look quite as chalky or cakey as they would otherwise on top of a more dry skin texture. Now, one little tip I will give you guys that is obviously not mandatory, but I love so much, is using this guy right here. This is a beauty roller. This one is from Nurse Jamie. I've been seeing these around a lot lately, and typically what I do with this is before I'm about to apply heavy beat, I will just roll this over my skin like so. It's really good at increasing blood flow and circulation to your skin, which is really going to liven it up. It's going to depuff it, and in general it just feels really nice. When it comes to every product I'm going to tell you guys about in this video, this might be one of the ones that I would say if you get nothing else, get something like this. You will notice a difference in how your skin looks. It's just going to look firmer, more toned, more youthful. It's going to help with fine lines. Like, it's just a really cool product. Next, depending on if I have time, and usually if I'm doing this kind of makeup look, I have given myself time, I will go with some sort of mask. Sometimes I do a firming mask, sometimes I do an exfoliating mask, but lately I have been going more towards hydrating sheet masks. Lately, the one that I've been loving the most is this one from Lancome. It's just like the most hydrating. It doesn't make your skin oily. I love it. So I will leave this mask on for about 10 to 12 minutes, take it off, and then usually I'll go do my hair, because I do want the hydration of that product into my skin, but I don't want to apply makeup on top of wet skin. At least not for me, that's not gonna work. I'll go do my hair, come back, that's where we are right now, and I will move on with the rest of my routine. Also, before we get started with this, I broke a nail on my way into my room to start filming this. I don't know why this keeps happening, so hope that doesn't bother you. I wasn't gonna like leave the house and get my nail fixed just for this video. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to apply a primer. I just talked about primers and like my opinion on primers in my last video. I really only go for a more hydrating primer personally, and the one that I've been loving the most is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Base. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this face base and start working this into my skin. While I let that soak in for just a little bit, let's talk about foundation. I've already mentioned to you guys to check out my skincare routine video. All the videos I mentioned I will link down below, but the next video I would highly recommend that you guys check out is my foundation and primers video. It is all high end, but I did talk a lot about foundation types, mixing with certain primers, things of that nature. There is a drugstore video as well that talks about my favorite drugstore foundations, but let me tell you guys from personal experience, I used to watch foundation routine videos like, you know, forever. I've been watching YouTube makeup videos for as long as I can remember. And it was a rare moment where somebody would mention a foundation or a concealer or a foundation concealer primer cocktail combo that worked perfectly for me. Really what's resulted in me figuring this routine out that gives me the result that I like is just getting out there and getting my hands dirty. I mention all this to say, like, don't feel like you have to go out and buy this stuff, and the only way you can have a good foundation or concealer or contour whatever routine is to buy all this stuff. It's not true. Definitely pay attention to things that seem like they would appeal to you if it's out of your price range. Always Google search dupes for them. I'm not trying to sell you anything in this video. I'm just trying to tell you what works for me. Maybe some of this will work for you as well. Anyway, for foundation today, this is the La Mer Soft Fluid Foundation and the Dior Forever Foundation. I rarely, if ever, unless I'm doing a demo or testing a brand new foundation, ever use one foundation. And that's not only because of shade range, but that's also because of like the finish I'm going for. Sometimes I can find a foundation that I really like the pigmentation and kind of the full coverage effect of it, but I find that it's too goopy or too thick, so I might mix it with something really, really hydrating to get something like right in between. Sometimes I might have a foundation that I really love the foundation, but maybe it's too warm and I need to kind of cool it down or make it more neutral. So that's another tip. Definitely do not be afraid to mix your foundations, since it's the best way, I think, to find your perfect like match made in heaven foundation. I'm gonna mix these together on the back of my hand like so, take my Morphe beauty sponge and start pressing this on my skin. So for me, the one thing about like YouTube and Instagram and beauty videos and stuff like that that's coming out right now that's kind of bumming me out is I feel like the bulk of what anyone pays attention to on those videos is eyes and cut creases and glitter, and like that's all well and fine, but the makeup that I personally find truly beautiful is makeup where the skin is right. Like if you can get the skin right, you don't really have to do a whole lot else with your makeup in order to make a very beautiful look. I don't know, I just feel like what really gets me is skin. Even when it comes to makeup products or the things I want to spend my money on, it's skincare, it's powder, it's foundation. Like I don't get crunk about a whole lot else that way. But I'm going to blend this and press this into my skin for a while. So what you want to do is you are pressing this into your skin. I just can't do it while I'm talking. You really just want to help make it be one with the skin. Like really take your time. If you're doing your makeup, never forget to apply lip balm. It's like crucial. I feel like once again your lips are part of the skin, so we are trying to give it glam, hydrated, glowy, healthy effect. So crusty lips are not going to get us there. Okay, next I'm going to cream contour. I am going to cream and powder contour today, but I'm not going to do any of them heavily. The best, like the easiest tip I can give you is to start to kind of understand your undertone. Now I told you guys I'm neutral, which means I don't pull too cool or too warm. I'm kind of right there in the middle. Therefore, I don't like to go in with contours that are too brown or too red. I need something kind of right there in the center, and that's really where the challenge comes. And that's honestly where the artistry comes in as a makeup artist, to be able to look at someone's face and know exactly what bronzer, contour, blush colors to use to give a beautiful, like I'm gonna insert some pictures right here of makeup artists who I really feel like nail the skin, and if you actually look at that skin, it's like flawless and beautiful, and there's definition and glow and clearly makeup, but the reason it looks so good is because the shades are correct. The tones meld together beautifully. So all that to be said, we're gonna do a little bit of everything, but we're gonna be mindful of our colors and we're not gonna apply too much or go too dark with anything at one step. So what I'm gonna use to contour today is the Charlotte Tilbury Contour Wand. Charlotte Tilbury, you're probably gonna see a lot in this video, so get ready for it. I would be kind of misleading to say if I thought this would work on everyone. If you're very deep complected, I would say medium deep to deep, this might not work on you, but on me it works really well. I don't know if there's more than one of these colors, but this is the fair to medium one. I'm going to apply my contour, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow my natural cheekbone. So my cheekbone is right here. It's like right here, kind of close to my ear. I can kind of see it when I turn my head, like it's right there. That looks like a lot, but when I blend this out, it actually blends out to a very sheer shade. And I'm going to take my sponge and just start to work this into the skin. It's okay if it kind of drags along my face because that's why I'm doing it first. That way I can clean up anything that gets away from me. And what I like about this is like you can see it, but it's not too much. What I don't want is to be in a situation where if someone catches me from the side where I just have like dark, like deep, like lines here, like everything can be defined without being dark. So that's really like what I'm trying to get across today. So that's literally all I'm gonna do. And like I said, when this comes out, it looks really dark, and even right now it looks pretty big, but I'm gonna cut it with some other concealer. But you can tell I have some contour on, but it's not bananas. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and apply concealer underneath my eye. Soft matte complete concealer. Just going to apply this on the side of my nose, underneath my eye, and I'm literally going to drag it up like that because we want to lift. It's also gonna go chin, Cupid's bow, forehead. Once again, what are we doing? We're taking our time today and we are blending this skin. So I'm gonna take a liquid concealer. Once again, do not feel the need to do all this stuff. This is just what works for me. And I'm gonna cut this contour to kind of clean it up. Now what I used to do is I used to go like this with it. But what I'm actually gonna do now is I'm gonna go straight across with it. Like so. Because like I said, I used to do like this, and I think what it was doing is kind of bringing me down. And once again, we wanna bring everything up. I'm just gonna take my beauty blender, or it's not a beauty blender, it's the Morphe one, and just ever so slightly start tapping the edges of this. So this line's pretty harsh, and the trick is like you don't want to lose that contour, but you don't want it to stay just like so. So what you do is you're just gonna take the side of your beauty blender, or oh my god, my nose is so itchy. You're gonna take one of the sides of your beauty sponge that you use to pounce your foundation into your face, and you're just gonna, it's gonna take a second to get this even and blended. Do you see what I mean? That's fine with me right now because when I go to add some bronzer and stuff, it'll kind of diffuse the strength of that line. It looks a little crazy right now, but it'll come together in the end. I don't know why, but anytime I only have like cream products on my skin, like concealer, foundation, whatever, it's like I can feel like little hairs moving all over my face, and it itches my nose so much. Speaking of my nose, I'm going to apply this down the bridge. And I'm just gonna kind of wiggle it to blend in that seam, because I really want the highlighted portion of this line to be pronounced. That way I don't have to add that much darkness. For our last cream step, we're going to take the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. This stuff is so cool, you guys. Like, a lot of times when it comes to like a liquid illuminating product, which can be used for like many things. People mix it into their foundations, which I've done. People use it as a primer. People use it as a highlighter. You can do many things with it. But what I do with it lately is I just apply it in the areas that I really want to look really glowy at the end of my makeup application, because I'm telling you, even though I'm gonna put powder on top of this later, you'll still be able to see it through the makeup, like, or through the powder rather. It's so nice. Like, I wish I didn't have to wear powder and I could just keep it on like this. Like, it's so pretty. Put a little bit of it right here, 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 and here. So everywhere, basically. So you know, my flawless filter is in the color number 3, and you're just gonna take my word for it. If all of this stuff isn't gonna show up on camera, we do not live our lives on camera, you guys. I know there's tons of people doing their makeup for the gram, do it for the gram, but I do my makeup for Instagram and YouTube, but I also want my makeup to look good in person. And like I said, if I'm doing this type of look, it's usually for some kind of event. So if you can't see like the impact, I'll take my word for it. Like when I tell you, like right now, I look like glowy and it's nice. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to set the center of my face using my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish Powder. I swear to God, I go through this stuff like hotcakes. And I'm going to start setting this in the center of my face and under my eyes. Then I'm going to move on to set the remainder of my face. There's a lot of powders coming, you guys, a lot of stuff. You can use anything you have. I feel like I need to repeat that several times in this video because I know someone's gonna be like, nobody has the money or time for this ridiculous of a makeup routine. Listen, I'm not here to judge, I'm just telling you what I do. So I'm gonna take a big powder brush. This is the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill one. I love this brush. And my Hourglass powder. The reason I love this is the reason I love all Hourglass complexion products. It's just so beautiful and skin-like and performs really well. And the reason I have to set the remainder of my face with powder is because I'm going to blend powder products into my skin, and if I try to blend a powder product into a tacky wet or creamy product on my skin, it won't blend. Like, it'll just get really choppy. I want this to last all night, day, whatever event I'm getting ready for. I want it to look good from the time I get there until the time I leave. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply eyeshadow primer on my lower lash line. There's a method to my madness, like, stay with me. So to me, and I know this sounds kind of weird, but I feel like the order that you do your makeup in is very important. And the order I do things in typically is complexion, then I start my nose contour, then I apply baking powder, then I do my eyeshadow so my eyeshadow can connect to my nose contour and my baking powder can clean up the sides of my nose so it doesn't get too dark. So I'm gonna go ahead and contour my nose really quickly. I'm not gonna really get into it on screen how I do this because everyone's nose is different. This is the JD Wadey Luxie, I think this is 102 or 107 brush, and I contour using the Hoola bronzer. Tap off as much of that excess as you can before you get started, and I try to keep the bulk of my nose contour in the center and downward because I'll bring my eyeshadow in to connect it right here. I'm gonna go ahead and apply my baking powder because I'm gonna let it hang out while I do my eyeshadow, which always makes me nervous because I'm afraid it's gonna lighten up my under eye area too much, but I guess I'd rather do that than get eyeshadow all over my face. So I'm using the Huda Beauty Easy Bake Loose, something like that. I've been talking about it a lot recently. I really like it. See what I mean about contouring first so I can clean that up a little bit? Okay, I will be right back with my eyes done and we will move on to the rest of my complexion routine. Okay, obviously I have dusted away my baking powder and I look a little bit strange. Usually at this point I do, but that's not a big deal. I think a few videos back I made a comment that this guy was on his last leg, but now he's really on his last leg. I need to make an order stat. But I'm just going to lightly deepen, slightly deepen. I'm gonna contour over. So I'm just gonna run this in the areas of my face that I already contoured. This is my favorite contouring product ever. It's, oh Okay, well, I gotta order another one like right now. I just broke it. Oh my gosh, I just tapped it to remove the excess and it shattered. New one in the mail. This has lasted me for like over a year, so I guess that's a good run. Anyway, now we're gonna bronze. I'm gonna take the Hourglass Luminous Bronze Light and mix it with the MAC and Patrick Star Give Me Life bronzer. I'm very boring with my complexion routine. You guys have probably seen a lot of this a lot lately, but that's why I want to start cutting it out of my videos, hence making this one. Anyway, we're gonna bronze. I'm gonna take this brush right here, which is the JH02 from Morphe. I'm just gonna mix these together because I do like that this bronzer is a little bit more of a luminous finish, but I don't want it to be like straight up dew glow status. So I'm just gonna apply that. So if there is another product that I would highly recommend to you guys throughout the course of this video to give you like a very beautiful, filtered, glowy, flawless finish, it is Hourglass anything. Hourglass's products are lo and behold, far and away, above and beyond, whatever. They're definitely one of my favorite product lines there are, plus they're vegan, their packaging is gorgeous. This is one of the ambient editing palettes that came out this year. They tend to come out with these 6 pans. If you are just trying to get into the brand, it's a really good place to start. I just wanted to kind of throw this out there to you guys as like an option to really kind of step up your glowy skin game, especially if you're oily and you can't go in with really glowy or luminous products. Finishing powders from Hourglass or like luminous bronzers and luminous blushes that aren't chunky or glittery are still gonna help give you a really pretty glowy appearance to your skin. I'm gonna spray myself again with my setting spray, and then I'm gonna turn the camera off, change my clothes because I have to change my clothes for a video, and do my lips and cheeks and wrap this thing up. So be right back. Don't ask why I felt the need to put on a jacket, a leather jacket. It's because I'm trying to be like the biker gang leader of contouring. I don't know. I just feel like wearing it. I'm going to take my blush, and in keeping with the theme of this video, we're going in with like a radiant blush situation. So I'm just going to take Becca Songbird. I'm gonna grab and mix these 2 blushes from the Hourglass palette I was talking about. It's a nice flush to the cheeks, but it's still really glowy and luminous. Next Hourglass product, I told you guys it's gonna be a lot of Charlotte Tilbury and Tilbury, I don't know if I ever say that right, and Hourglass. I'm gonna take the ambient lighting powder in the color Dim Light from Hourglass. I have been using this buffing technique. I mean, I don't know if this is actually the way buffing was originally like supposed to be done, but it's what I call it. And the idea is you take a finishing powder, and there's all kinds of finishing powders, and you're just kind of running it over your skin to just like blur all of your lines, so like your bronzer, your blush, everything together. And while you're doing it, it kind of like filters your skin. And I know on camera, or I'm assuming on camera, you just can't tell. There's a hair right here, hang on. But in person, it makes such a difference. Anytime I do this, or one of my friends sees me do this in person, they're just like,
what'd you just do? What was that? What's that powder? Tell me about it.
Because it makes a huge difference. Like, it makes your makeup look so beautiful. So inside this particular palette, there is an Hourglass highlighter. There is a difference between the Hourglass finishing powders and the Hourglass highlighters. This is the actual highlighting powder, and it is in the color Euphoric Strobe Light. The thing I love about Hourglass highlighting powders is that they do not emphasize texture. They're not like, you know what I'm talking about. They're not that chrome. I don't like that look. I haven't been a fan of that look for a very long time. Even when I wasn't a fan of, there was actually a time, believe it or not, where I was really into matte skin. I think it was like 2015. I was like, why is everybody into glowy skin? I like matte skin. Even when I came around to liking glowy skin, I don't think I will ever be a fan of that extremely just like, it just doesn't look good. I'm sorry. These powders, they're really hard to overdo. They're so beautiful. Hourglass and Charlotte Tilbury, y'all, hands down my favorite brands. Like, not even a question. I'm gonna spray one more time. Alright guys, this is the end of this Extra AF Glowy Natural Foundation. Natural, hello, glowy, but full coverage, and yet I hope looks somewhat natural. Whatever, this is my complexion routine and I'm sticking to it. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as I said throughout the entirety of it, do not feel the need to like run out and go buy every single thing I mentioned. This is just a collection of things I have amassed over quite some time, tried out, figured out what works together. I would love to hear your favorite products that you use to achieve a glowy but still kind of fresh, full coverage finish, even if it's like not even glowy. Just what are your favorite complexion products? Help each other out down below, and I'm always interested to know what's good, you know what I'm saying? Anyway, I hope you guys are doing amazing. I will be back very soon with some more videos. Have a wonderful day. I gotta get out of here. Talk to you next time. Bye. That was a lot of, what's the opposite of a greeting? Salutations?